Okay, so recently there's been a lot of controversy about the LGBTQ plus community and how many rights they should have. There's been arguments about whether they should be allowed to get married, and there's even people and institutions trying to limit their voice and freedom of expressions with their dress code and rules. Knowing this, I want to give a voice to the teenagers in the community for them to express their thoughts and livelihood.
I'm Aaron. I'm 18.
How do you identify?
I am gay.
Great. How did you know that you were gay?
It was never really a moment of like self-discovery for me so much as it was just kind of, I grew up different and I just kind of knew that. And as I got older, I realized what that meant. And it was never really so much of a realization as it was just kind of who I was. It was never a big deal for me.
I don't know if it was like ignorance or denial, but I didn't really put much thought at all in junior high that I was gay. Kind of I guess suppressed that. You know, when you grow up having like a feminine voice like I did, you get called like gay since like elementary. So I guess you get so used to denying it that you like forget like, oh, maybe I am.
How did it feel to be in the closet?
It was very lonely. Day by day, I would walk around, see everybody being themselves, but I couldn't really be myself. So it was just it was a very dark place.
My freshman year, I was like talking to someone or like talking to a boy, but a teacher or administrator found out and they knew my parents, so they called my mom and dad, and then they told them, hey, do you know your son has a boyfriend? And I hadn't even told them I was gay, so they were caught by like a big shock. I denied it. Okay, I'm a real. Like I was like, I don't know, it's a rumor. So that's why it spanned out to my sophomore year when I told my mom again, and I was like, hey, and then like that's when I came out.
One night, I was hanging out with a couple friends. We were just goofing off, and this car passes by, and they just yelled out profanities. It was just so weird because I've never experienced anything like I've always heard of it happening, but never had it happen to me. There was one person in particular who cheated me awful. It was one of my best friends' friends. I would sit at his table, and I was just eating, and out of nowhere, he would just scream, "Stop being gay." I just walked away, like I don't know.
I think that a lot of problems that I still face are definitely more internal than external. I always think what I'm going to say before I say it in case I sound too gay, or in case it sounds like not right or something, or in case I feel that I'm not in a situation where I'm safe, or where I feel like I'm going to be judged if I say a certain thing. In the 6th grade, I was starting to kind of figure out, you know, what I was and who I was, and through that, I kind of got scared because it really scared me to want to disappoint people or to make people think bad of me. So I ended up getting a girlfriend to hide the fact that I was gay. That was a really dark time in my life because I kept lying to this person, telling her that I loved her and that I had feelings for her, and I showed affection to her in public to make everyone else think that I was straight. And that was really hard on me because I realize now that it would have just been way easier if I just came out and not hid myself so much, because after coming out, I realized that it's just a big relief off of my shoulders and it's not something to be ashamed of. I guess the only advice I could give is, if you don't feel like you're in an environment where it's safe for you to come out, then I don't suggest you should until you find almost like asylum. You're always going to have doubts. I had doubts about my own mother, even though she loves me more than anyone else in the world, but you just need to surround yourself with those kinds of people, and you should just do it, because it's been the best thing I've ever done.
I'd say to don't be afraid. If there's one thing I've learned, that if one person doesn't love you, there's somebody else who will. There's always other people who will care for you.
It feels good. I mean, I've never heard like regret from anyone that came out. So even if it takes you longer than like it will take anyone else, you'll still be happy.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Daniel.
I'm James.
And I'm gay.